What is up, car addicts? Welcome back to the series where I customize and review past DLC and OG vehicles that I never got the chance to because I didn't start making car customization videos till about late 2015. Again guys, let me know in the comments what car from late 2015 and older you want me to customize next, and I'll display the most liked vehicle suggestion comment in the next customization video. So in today's video, we're going to be customizing the Bravado Verlierer. Now I did customize this car in the past, but that was an older video with no commentary, so it was highly suggested by you guys in the last video to go back and recustomize it, so that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. Now this also goes for other cars in the game as well, so if I had no commentary at all in an old customization video, I can recustomize that vehicle as well if you guys would like me to. But anyways, the Verlierer came out with the Executives and Other Criminals update in December of 2015. You can find this car on the Legendary Motorsport website for $695,000, which honestly is pretty expensive for an older sports car, especially from 2015. Now in terms of performance, the Verlierer is pretty average in terms of lap time, and this is one of those cars that's just a very strange driving experience. It takes corners very well at lower speeds, but when it comes to higher speed corners, it has a ridiculous amount of understeer, which is just not normal in comparison to other sports cars in game. It forces you to slow down way too much in those higher speed cornering sections, and that's the main reason why it's not all that great for track performance. As a matter of fact, it's right around 50th place in the sports class, around the pace of the OG Carbonizer, which really isn't all that great. But honestly, that's not really why you buy this car. You buy it more for the incredible exhaust note it has and the extremely unique styling. And speaking of the styling, in terms of what the Verlierer is based on, it's primarily based on the TVR Sagaris and the Wiesmann GT MF5, so a very unique and different combination for sure. Now the community is sort of split in terms of the styling of this car. Now I personally like it. I'm a big fan of cars that are different and kind of out there with quirky and weird designs, and this is definitely one of those cars that makes an impression. Now whether that's good or bad is all personal preference, but I personally like it. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out the customization of the very quirky and unique Verlierer.
What can we do to it?
Alright, the Verlierer. Or we got armor, got brakes, bumpers. Okay, so this one, it brings the vents further forward. Okay, and it makes the stock splitter carbon at the edge. Interesting. Well, this is a completely different bumper. Then you got the custom front splitter, which is a different bumper as well. So this is more similar to the actual TVR Sagaris bumper. So that's very cool. Oh, look at that splitter with the curved arrow splitter. That's sick. Then you got the flat arrow splitter. Then you got the GT bumper. Wow, the curved is nice, but the flat is also nice. Yeah, the curved definitely. That's sick. Alright, curved arrow splitter. No rear bumper option, sadly. Okay, engine, exhaust. So you have the stock exhaust comes out the center. Looks pretty decent. And you got the dual exit exhaust, more traditional setup. And then you got the quad, that is sick. Right in between the diffuser too. If I rev it up here, you can see a little bit better. That's really nice the way they did that. Alright, we'll do that. Fenders, you got the race wing vents. I actually kind of like that. I think it kind of goes with the car. It looks pretty good, and it looks like it wasn't just tacked on there. It actually looks like it's built into the fender, which is nice. So we'll do that. And you got a little Verlierer there on the side too, by the vent. So cool. Alright, hood. You got vented hood, secondary, carbon stock. You got the ram air hood and then the carbon vented hood. Now the hood is so far back on this car because it's pretty much a front mid-engine car with the configuration. So you know the hood is very far back with this super long hood. So the ram air hood does look a bit weird. I don't know how I feel about that. In first person, actually looks pretty cool. With but on the outside of the car, it just looks strange. I think the vented hood looks a lot better.
There it is.
Horn, keep going here. Lights, xenon, yep. Mirrors, so you got the colored mirrors. So it's stock, the mirrors come secondary, and then here you can make them primary. Then you can do carbon, or you can do custom, kind of like race car style, kind of rectangular mirrors there. So up to you. I think the carbon stock one looks great, so we'll do that. Some nice little contrast. License plate. I don't really have a plate for this. I guess just throw my track plate on there. Respray. Okay, so for this one, really thought about this one. I was just thinking of doing crew black, but I gave it some more thought. And I want to throw like a really nice kind of like purple on here. So we're gonna go to the midnight purple. And then we're going to brighten it up a bit. We're going to throw a hot pink pearlescent on here, which I think really brightens it up. I think it looks great. Look at that. Just a great looking color. And I think it kind of goes with this car. So we'll do that. A secondary color is your brake caliper color, which this is one of the first cars to have that as an option. I think other than that, I think the FMJ had it. This one, they were pretty much like the first few cars that had that option to change the brake caliper color. Very, very cool. And of course, like I talked about earlier, it will be linked to your mirror unless you change it like I did. And I think that's it. Just the mirror and the calipers, I believe. And the interior is nothing. Oh, and the interior stitching too. Look at that. Okay, I'm glad we checked that. Okay. I think I'm just gonna make it match. Do the purple. Oh, look at that! The center lock of the wheels as well. I didn't even notice that. Also matches. That's sick. We'll just do the purple. So we'll see what we find here. Something a bit brighter than the purple. Or we'll just throw the midnight purple on there as well. Midnight purple. Yeah, nice little subtle touch. Not the bright purple, looks a little weird. Yeah, midnight purple. It looks like black from far away, but I think when the sun hits it, then you'll kind of see that purple come out of it. It looks great. Crumblem on this car goes on the side of the door. Okay. Roll cage. So if you want to put a roll cage on this car, you got like a chrome roll cage. You got primary, then you got secondary. So what's the difference there? Yeah, I'm not gonna put a roll cage in this. Side skirts, definitely. That's like the perfect option for this car. It kind of finishes off that area down there. Without it, it just looks so unfinished, and this really makes it look perfect. Okay, spoiler upgrade. So you have the tuner wing. It's a very, very fitting spoiler for this car. And the real life Wiesmann we talked about earlier, it kind of comes with that spoiler, that model. So I think that's kind of cool. How Rockstar kind of integrated that here as an option for this car. Then you got secondary, Driftwing, color coded, and GT wing. This one's pretty cool, the Driftwing, but the way it's mounted at the center, it just looks a little weird to me. And then these are just way too big. I think this spoiler just suits this car so well, so we'll do that. Suspension. Yeah, we definitely gotta lower this. This thing is way too high. Even lowered, it's still too high. Look at that gap there. I mean, it's just not too great, but the best we can do. Transmission, turbo, wheels. So I absolutely love the stock wheels on this car, and I actually don't know if you can actually change the color. Let's test that. The way you test that is you change the color and then you just go back and forth really quick between. Oh yeah, you can't. Look at that. Yep, you go back and forth between this and the stock, and if you see it on there for like a split second, that's how you know, but it's not doing it. So you cannot change the stock wheel color on this car. So if you want to get something kind of similar to that, you can choose any of like the deep dish looking wheels. You can obviously do like the Giga Mesh, or you can do one of my personal favorites, the Cosmo Mark IIs. A bit more of a different design, but I think it still looks absolutely great on this car. You can see back and forth there. They have a very similar kind of deep dish look, but this one has more spokes, which I actually think looks a little bit better anyway, so we'll do that. Wheel color black. Oh yeah. That looks great. That actually looks kind of sinister. That's sick the way that came out. I really like that. Okay, windows. So this car, it tints the windows and it also tints the headlights, believe it or not. So you can see them kind of being tinted there. Pretty cool. I wish they would have separated it. That's one of the things I don't really like. Because what if you want super dark tints, but you don't want tinted headlights? Kind of an issue. So I'm gonna do something in between. We're just gonna go with the light smoke, so that it's not too much tinted on the headlights, but we still have tints on the car itself. So light smoke, and I think that's all the options there. Yep. All right, let's take it for a drive. Exit to ground. Car looks absolutely great in that color. I'm really happy with the way that turned out, and the wheels as well. All right, rev it up here. Oh my god, it sounds so good. It's like a tuned version of like the Rapid GT exhaust note. We got the interior from the Bullet. Interesting. And then you can see the interior stitching. It looks black at first, but if you look a little bit closer, you can kind of see a hint of purple in there. Looks pretty cool. Alright, let's floor it here. Acceleration's pretty good. Straight line speed on this car is pretty good as well. I think it's over 120 miles an hour, which is not too bad. It's definitely above average for top speed, but when it comes to handling at higher speed, that's where it really suffers, which I talked about earlier in the video. So you really got to take it slower to take corners. You can see all the understeer I had there. You really got to know how to drive this car. You cannot drive it like every other sports car, or you will crash very easily. You'll understeer into most corners, so it's a bit tricky for sure. But once you get the hang of it, it's a pretty easy car to drive, and the only unfortunate part is you have to slow down, a lot extra than you normally do with other cars, which in turn makes you a bit slower. So that's that there. Mid-drive it there. Did that in third gear. Whoops. That's the throttle here. Let me do a handbrake launch. There it goes. Yeah, it moves. That's nice. Oh my gosh, it's so raspy till we let off the throttle. Oh my gosh, it sounds so good. I wish Rockstar would put more effort into exhaust notes like they used to. Like these cars, the XA21, the Coquette Blackfin, the Sterling GT. I mean, so many amazing cars, they put effort into the exhaust notes. Nowadays, they're just recycling them. It's a bit annoying, is what it is. But at least we have this car. It sounds so good. All right, let's hop out here. This color, and it looks so good. If you put it, in the shade or at night, it looks kind of like black. But then when the sun hits it, that hot pink really comes out, and you can see that purple. Looks so good. All right, hood. Let's do everything here. Let's do all. See? There we go. Oh, the valve covers are primary color too. I did not know that. That's nice. That's nice to know. You can see he has a V12 engine model under here. Interesting. Now, that's a huge engine. Actually, I mean, would you consider that mid-engine? Because it has to be behind the front axle, and the edge of the motor is really right above the front axle. So, not sure if you probably consider that front engine, unfortunately, or front mid-engine. But very cool looking car. Got a hatchback here. Look at that. Sick. Really nice. Not bad. I mean, 2015. I think this is very good for 2015. But you're definitely paying for it. Essentially $700,000 plus upgrades. $1 million car. You're driving $1 million car around. But not too many people have it, and I think it's kind of like forgotten as well for the most part, because it wasn't really all that quick when it came out. It wasn't the new fastest car or anything like that, so not many people bought it, or they bought it and they sold it right away. And I still have mine. I love it, and I don't think I'll ever sell it again because of how unique the design is. But anyways, guys, remember to let me know down below in the comments what car from late 2015 and older you want me to customize next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.